one. This has got to be the easiest way to catch crappie, and it's not even close. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Fishing with James, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to catch crappie in extremely shallow water. I'm talking 1 to 3 feet, super shallow. Now firstly, this method of fishing does excel from early to mid-spring when crappie move up shallow to spawn. However, you can use it year-round, but generally early spring is the best. So first I'm going to go into the setup and the types of bait you're going to want. I'm just going to go over everything you need to know to do this, and then at the end of the video I'm going to show 3 to 4 minutes of some clips of me actually doing it so you know what to look for when you're out on the water. But before we get into anything, only a small percentage of viewers that watch my videos are actually subscribed to my channel, so if you enjoyed today's video, consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind later. And with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the setup that you're going to need to perform this type of fishing. Now, as for setups, ideally you're going to want a 10-foot crappie rod like I have here with me. You don't have to have a 10-foot rod, but it makes it a lot easier. And I'll go ahead and link one down in the description below for you guys to pick up if you don't have one already. It just makes it a lot easier to reach the spots that I'm going to talk about here in a second. For line, I like 6 to 8 pound line, and I normally run 8-pound line. So you want something really light with this setup, just a traditional crappie fishing setup for line. And finally, as for baits, this part doesn't really matter too much. I generally just use Crappie Jigs. Again, the color and size and all that just depends on where you're at. If you're not totally sure on which Crappie Jigs you want to get, if you don't have any, or if you do have some and you want to expand your collection, I'll leave a link to 2 videos, both of which will be right up here and linked down in the description below, where I talk about my top 3 crappie jigs for both this year and last year. So if you don't really know where to go with crappie jigs, go check those videos out after this one, and I might can help you out with that. But again, as I just said, crappie jigs are going to be the bait of choice for this setup. Also, side note, on this day we used minnows as well. What we did, we just took our minnows and spiked the end of our crappie jigs. We took our jig head with the crappie jig already on it, and we put the minnow on right through the nose and just kind of tipped it, and that helped a little bit too. That's a whole separate video that I'll have to make here in the coming days, but we did that. So we also used minnows a little bit, but you don't have to have those to use this method. We just had some on us that day. Now, as for where you're going to be looking for these fish, any shallow structure works. Trees, stick-ups, reeds, shallow grass, lily pads, it doesn't really matter. But on this fishing trip specifically, we targeted reeds the whole day. Any shallow reeds or grass, like stick-ups that we could find, we were dropping our jig down in there. And for those of you watching this video that are looking for water temperatures to look for, the water in the lake that we fished that day was anywhere from the mid-60s to very low 70s. But, as I said earlier, it can vary a lot on whether or not these fish are shallow or not. So what you're going to do is let out about 3 to 4 feet of line. If you're fishing on a little bit deeper water, naturally you're going to have to let out a little bit more line, but we are fishing 1 to 3 feet of water. You let out about 3 feet or so, maybe a little bit less. You take your rod, you put it out, and you put your bait right as close to that structure as you possibly can. For example, in the reeds, we were just dropping them in different holes that we could find in the reeds, and that's where we were catching our fish. But again, for trees, you'll drop down in the tree. For grass, you'll drop down in the grass, and so forth. You're just trying to get as close to that structure as you possibly can. And the upcoming clips that I've laid out in this video will help highlight that even more for you guys. And also, on this day of fishing using this method, I caught my biggest crappie of the year so far at just around 14 inches. And even if you've never fished like this before, I want to hear what your biggest crappie is. Go ahead and drop it down in the comments down below. I want to hear your fish stories, and maybe I can learn something about crappie fishing as well in the process. So make sure to go drop a comment before you leave this video about your biggest crappie and how you caught it. But that is the very simple way to tell you guys about this type of fishing. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the clips of the fishing so you can actually see what I'm talking about with this style of fishing.
That's a big one. That's 14 inches. Oh my God. Oh. It didn't even get a few inches under and he just annihilated it. I know, buddy. It's crazy, ain't it? Look at that. Pure northern bass. There's one. I don't know. I think it's going to be 9 3/4. 10 1/2. Oh no. Well. Yeah. That is a giant. We're gonna flip him in. Oh my gosh. We'll take him. Oh my gosh. Ain't no 16.5 incher, but I mean, he ate it. What do you give him? I give him 14. Right on 14 and like an 1/8. No, wait, that 14 on the dot. Now, that one chomped it too, by the way. Tapping it a little bit. That one ate it. Oh my god. Get out of the way. Oh my god. Guy ate it. Look at that right there. Ain't no joke. All right, so my dad taught me this trick. This is really cool. You take your line, right, and you just have it at about that far out. Take it with your hand, pull it up till you get to the rod tip, and then you can go way back in there, drop it down, and then you use your finger to jig it. And then when you got one like that, you bring them in and you flip them into the boat, just like that. It's that simple. Perfect. I can change batteries with that one. Boom. Oh my gosh. No, I'm not gonna get him. I ain't getting this one. Yep. Oh, this one's an under. First under of the day. I'd measure him. This one will be like 8.5.
So there you have it. As you can see, those crappie were really aggressive. And again, you just drop straight in. You don't have to use the reel at all. You wait for the bite, you get it, you pull them right out. Super simple, super easy. And again, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, it works best around springtime, but you can use it throughout the year just depending on where you're at in the country. But I'm in Texas and it works best from March to April. So I hope you guys enjoyed this very quick video on how to catch crappie in super shallow water. I'll have more videos coming out in the next few days about slip cord crappie fishing, deep crappie fishing, and so forth. So make sure to subscribe to this channel if you're not already, so that you don't miss those new videos as they come out. So if you learned something new in this video, make sure to leave a like down below and share it with some friends so that you and all your buddies can be on all the crappie next time you go out fishing. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and with all that said, I will see you guys on the next episode of Fishing with James.